3 games, no defeats. It was a good midweek for the Scottish teams in Europe, but now we're going to cover all the action and see what happened in the rest of the European games. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football here for your European review show. It is a Friday evening here, Friday afternoon, Friday midday. What day is it? What time is it?
It's Friday, 5:15. But I'll tell you one thing, guys.
Oh, 5:15. That's awkward. It's not quite in the afternoon, but it's not quite in the evening.
Late afternoon. Although I think most people
what about early evening though?
It's no evening. Evening's after 6.
Well, it doesn't matter what time.
Dinner time.
Doesn't matter what time.
It's dinner time, and I'm hungry for the coefficient.
It's review time, and here we are to review it. Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, lots to talk about. So
Let's dive into
I'm
it.
looking forward to it. Anything you want to add here?
Couldn't ask for a much better midweek.
No, definitely, and also a team got pumped 5-1, and I hope those ginger tears are still flowing.
They got pumped by a team in Europe, and it didn't affect the coefficient.
That's great, isn't it?
Couldn't have went much better.
No, it's been a fantastic last 18 hours, I guess. Anyway, let's get into it. So we'll start with Champions League. Obviously, first leg, so we've still got the second leg to be played on the 29th and 30th of April, but you know, there's only a couple of games here that we're really wanting to talk about. First one being Shelbourne versus Karabag. We felt Shelbourne needed a decent result at home to have any chance, and unfortunately, they didn't get it. It's fair to say that tie is absolutely done.
Done. Game set and match.
Yeah, it's over.
It was 1-0 at half time. I was thinking, they're still in it, but there's no point even going to Azerbaijan. Do they play in Baku? I'm not too sure where they play. Point is, they may as well not go back.
No, they'd be better off just staying in Ireland and, I don't know, preparing themselves for the... What round will they drop into? Europa League?
Europa League for qualifying round.
Yeah, that's...
They're guaranteed a playoff. Fair play to them.
Yeah, they're guaranteed a playoff for the conference. But all they need to do is if they can win one game. See, that's all you need to do, right? See if you're in the first qualifying round of the Champions League. See if you can win that and get into the second round. You're one win away from being in league phase football.
Yeah.
So all Shelbourne need to do is either beat Karabag, looking unlikely, or either beat the team that they get in the Europa League qualifying round. Don't know who that will be, and if they can't do that, then just beat the team you get in the conference playoff round. So either way, Shelbourne are just one tie winning away from league phase football. So they're close, but they ain't going to be in the Champions League, we know that.
Yeah, and a key thing you got to remember is they'll be taking on probably one of these teams that will go out here. And would you fancy Shelbourne against some of these teams? I would. Noah, Lincoln Red Imps, nothing expect. Tell you what, Lincoln Red Imps, only losing 1-0 to Red Star Belgrade's pretty good.
Yeah, if we look at that Koops, that team for Finland, they
beat it. They battered that team that Dundee United played in the Strazen last year.
Yeah, they're probably going to be in league phase football because it looks like they're going to go through.
Yeah, and that's the crucial thing about winning the second qualifying round. You guarantee.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's talk about Rangers then. That 2-0 win over Panathinaikos. They're beating their Greek opponents, or as you like to call them, the Turks. So, Rangers with a 2-0 win. Look, it wasn't the greatest game of football, but it was all about the result, wasn't it? At the end of the day, what would you rather? Rangers play pretty poorly and get a 2-0 win, or Rangers look absolutely phenomenal under Russell Martin, but lose at Ibrox 2-0 and effectively get knocked out the Champions League? You would have taken this result all day long.
Yes, I said it would be easy. It looks easy on this Wikipedia page. The reality is it wasn't easy. First half was shocking, but you know what? I'd rather play pish and win than play good and lose. And Panathinaikos, to me, kind of have like a similar case to Rangers against Kiev last year. They were playing no bad up until they went into 10 men, albeit I think the FD second yellow was worse than this one due to the diving that was at fault here. But again, the Rangers in the first half, incredibly lucky not to go down at least 1-2.
Yeah, they weren't great. Butland was pretty good, though. He made some saves, but overall, defensively, there was mistakes in Rangers. John Suter, he seemed like a liability, but in fairness, he did, defend. He was pretty good without the ball, but anytime the ball came at him, he just made an absolute mess of it. So
I think it'll be crucial to see what Russell Martin does in the second leg. I don't think the same front three will start for me. I think you just seen Rangers get automatically better when the likes of Igamani and Gazima get brought on. I think that should be the front three.
Yeah,
Gazma, Igamani, and I'd play
Curtis.
Finlay Curtis, yeah, unless Asgard's fit, then depends what he does against Middlesbrough tomorrow. But
I do think Rangers are a bit light up front, or more so out in the wide areas.
no, they are.
See,
That's why they're linked to guys.
Yeah, but see when you see them relying on an 18-year-old and Kieran Dowell to be in those wide areas.
Yeah.
And like Cortez, does that guy have a future at Rangers?
Well, he's just in the door, technically.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I almost feel like Rangers are a man down with him in the squad.
We are. But Rangers, massive step into the next round for me, because I think the key thing you've got to look at is Rangers need to lose by 3 goals not to go to penalties. I just don't see that happening, man. Great chance of going through, and it's exactly what they need to do. Just wish it was 3-0.
Did they change it this year so that if it's a tie after 2 legs, it goes to penalties, or is that another competition I'm thinking of?
No, I think that's another competition.
No, but they did. What was that, the Scottish Cup then or something? There's definitely a competition.
I think it's the League Cup.
The League Cup, yeah, where if it's tied, they go straight to. Alright, okay, that's going to be interesting. But anyway.
Do you agree, though? I just don't see Rangers losing. Rangers aren't going out in 90 minutes. If they're going out, to me, it'll be penalties.
Yeah, I think Rangers are going through. I think Russell Martin's done enough to secure. And if Rangers do win this game, then they're guaranteed league phase football.
Yeah, that's crucial, guys. So that Europa League, go out here. There was nothing guaranteed. The difference is mental.
Absolutely right. Wait, is it not Conference League they're guaranteed?
No, not according to the BBC. Rangers, Celtic, and Aberdeen, the only 2 teams guaranteed.
No, you said if Rangers win this, they're guaranteed Europa League. I don't think.
No, it is. It's Europa League guaranteed. That's how it works. I know it's retarded. I don't understand why it is like that.
Well, let's just move on then to the Europa League.
So everyone's saying though, so if you go at the second qualifying round, you're guaranteed hee-haw, but if you go at the third qualifying round, you're guaranteed Europa League.
That doesn't.
Who writes the rules for these?
I get it. There's so many teams. It would be hard.
No, but have you not noticed though, the Europa League, there's far less teams in it now. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
There's no one there.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, the only game we're really here to talk about is the Midtjylland Hibernian game, which finished 1-1. Hibernian, I think, done themselves proud. Had a good display away from home. Going to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed with the clear, I just think, negativity once they scored the opening goal. Or their only goal, should I say. They just seemed to sit back a bit. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't like that for the entire game. I think it was maybe like a 5-10 minute spell, and then they began to, maybe come out a wee bit. But I was a wee bit disappointed because Hibs were so bright at the beginning on the front foot, pushing Midtjylland back. And as soon as they got the goal, they kind of just decided, you know what, let's just stick everyone behind the ball here. And you cannot hold it about 11, 12 minutes into the game. I don't think that game plan for David Gray was working. But to be fair to him, I mean, from 78 minutes onwards, they only conceded 1 goal, and it was a set piece. So, maybe the blueprint, maybe David Gray will feel that if we can get in front at Easter Road, then maybe he feels like his team is capable of holding Midtjylland out.
And the crucial thing is, folks, they don't need to win at Easter Road. They can go through with a draw, and they win on penalties. And I think that's the big difference here. There's none of this, they have to go gun-ho. If it gets to the 75th minute and you're still drawing, that's good.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing this conclusive proof here that Martin Boyle's second goal's offside either, so I do think Hibs were unlucky. Also, they just had a corner for whatever reason wasn't given to them in the pretty much the final kick of the game.
And it wasn't like the ref just blew the whistle.
Yeah, he allowed them to take the goal kick, launch it forward, then blew the whistle. So very strange. Would Hibs have scored? Unlikely, but here it would have just been another last chance. It would have been another chance to make something happen. So they were denied that opportunity, but it is what it is. Midtjylland 1, Hibernian 1. Any other noticeable results?
Donetsk beat Besiktas. That's who Rangers would get in the third qualifying round if they went out, but I don't think I need to worry about that too much.
Probably not. Utrecht there beating Sheriff. That's any other results? Not really.
Trying to think who the Hibs get if they go through.
Anderlecht 1, BK Hacken 0.
I think Hibs get some Ukrainian team if they go through.
Well, there you go. Ukrainian teams. Right, let's move on then to the Conference League. So, second qualifying round, Finnegur and Fortoues then getting the byes in that competition, so they're guaranteed to be in the third round. The New Saints lost to Diverdange by a goal to 0. That's poor. I was not expecting that.
But see, what I would say about that is...
At all, to be fair.
What I would say about that is like, New Saints for me are pretty bad. Oh, they beat Rangers 1-0 behind closed door friendlies. I read those comments, Matty, don't you worry. But reality is, Dundee United only beat Unistrasen 1-0, and the New Saints only lose 1-0 to Differdange. And Differdange are a team that finished top of the Luxembourg League, while Unistrasen finished, second?
Yeah, but the New Saints only lost to Florentina 2-0 last year in the league phase, so.
Oh, no, you could argue that. I'll accept that.
And they were unlucky. What I would say, I don't think the New Saints are out.
No, they're not out, but I think you need to win your home games in these.
No, you do, but they're against an opposition that I don't really rate. And not that rate the New Saints, but I do think that we could still see the New Saints progress. It's not a disaster, but I kind of did expect the New Saints to get the advantage going into the second leg away from home. Salgris 0, Linfield 0. I think this is decent for Linfield. I expect them to go through this tie. Yeah, they ain't taking an advantage home to Windsor Park, but probably if you said to Linfield, you'll take it to the second leg at home and it'll be all square, probably would take that. In the past, this might not have seemed like a great result, but due to the fact the away goal no longer counts, I think 0-0's absolutely fine, and I think Linfield will be more than happy with that.
Yeah, because Windsor Park, they've got the advantage. Salgris, I don't really rate them all that much. Linfield, they should get the job done. Back, I think they'll win about 1 or 2-0.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Well, that's Big Stevie Cool believes that. I agree. I think Linfield will. I think they've done half the job. They've done the hard part.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at a lot of these teams here for the home nations, and I'm thinking we're running out of teams. They're beginning to drop like flies.
Yeah,
so
but they've done the hard part.
So to get through as possible here.
I think Linfield will prevail. Holy fuck. Prevail. Right, Dundee United 1, Una Strazen 0. I did not see this game, unfortunately, but another team from Luxembourg. So, I mean, we're seeing the Luxembourg teams not getting disgraced here. Una Strazen only losing 1-0, and then Diverdange defeating the New Saints. So, are Luxembourg any decent? Are they improving?
Some guy
we know as a nation they're getting better. As a national team, they are improving. So.
No, they are, but some guy called me a see you next Tuesday, which for those that can't spell is a CUNT, because I said Dundee United haven't signed as well as the other clubs around them and that their squad ain't as good. Who's going to sit here and say Dundee United have got a good a squad as Aberdeen, Hearts and Hibs? No one. Because they don't.
I'd be shocked if there's any Dundee United fans out there who are honest and realistic that believe they will replicate their 4th place finish for last season. I don't think there's anyone out there that believes that.
We've talked about it previously. They've got weaker for me. They've lost Sam Dalby, which was one of the top goal scorers in the leagues, and they've replaced him, by getting a guy up front. I'll admit we don't really know if he's going to replicate anywhere near those numbers, but for me, they're not. Then you get Declan Gallagher. Letting him go is just completely and utterly idiotic. I don't understand that. And then for the most part, a lot of the signings are a bit unknown. Now, I will agree in the sense of I do think Hearts have signed a few unknown guys, but at the same time, Hearts have signed unknown guys with a lot of stats behind them. A lot of goals and assists, goal contributions. Not seeing the same with Dundee United.
Yeah, I agree. Aye, so Dundee United need to pull the checkbook out, because so far I think it's a lot of bounces with those checks. But yeah, 1-0 against Unistrasen.
Yeah, they won. But that's the important thing to remember. Maybe they'll win next week as well. Maybe they'll win the Conference League. I don't know. But some guy, listen to Footy Adventures, Fid, man. I don't know what they're smoking in Dundee, but the guy's like, I'd be happy with just getting through to the league stage and playing the 6 games. Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen the state of the draw?
That would be like you saying, I'd be happy if Rangers just make it through to like the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Yeah.
I'd settle for that. I mean, no shit you would.
I'll be honest, folks, right? The goose it's going to get for Dundee is beating Unistrasen and maybe picking up a result against Rapid Vienna at home in the next round. I don't expect them to beat Rapid Vienna.
AC Alkmaar, anyone?
Well, here, they did. But here, what I say could still be true. They could beat Rapid Vienna 1-0, and we could be sitting here in the West Wing. They're 4-0 down, and that knob at a percenter's going to be like, is the tie over? And Rapid Vienna are 5-0 up.
Well, you know what? I don't think this tie's over.
No, it's not.
I do expect
I worry for them.
I expect Dundee United to come through it, but I would not say it's secure by any means. Hopefully they get the job done in the second leg, and by get the job done, I mean hopefully they pick up another win, because We need every single win we can get for the coefficient, so hopefully they can do it. Larne then took on Pristina. That was a 0-0 draw. Pretty poor result. I expected Larne to beat this team from Kosovo, but they didn't. They're still in the tie, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be close whether they go through or not. So Linfield and Larne, both ties hanging in the balance. Dungannon Swift picked up a 1-0 win over Vaduz of Liechtenstein. So it's a decent win for Dungannon Swift. You'd like to think that they can see this tie off now at home, but 1-0, like I say, it's one goal changes it. If Dungannon get the first goal at home in the second leg, then it's looking good for them. If they concede it, then before you know it, the ties completely level. So 1-0 in these two-legged qualifiers, it's nothing really. It is as much as Dundee United and Dungannon Swifts aren't through, like the New Saints aren't out. You can come back from 1-0. Really, it's not a big
shocker. It's
not a big deal.
I know the team they're playing is not that great, but I mean, I'd never really heard of Dungannon Swifts until recently.
Well, I knew who they were, but I mean, I wasn't. Problem
They're not the team you expect in Europe.
Probably the weakest team I can recall representing Northern Ireland in Europe for a long time. I think since we've been doing the deep dives into European football and we've been covering the home nation sides, I'm
trying to think of one off the top of my head.
Well, I think Dungannon Swifts is the weakest from what I can recall.
Yeah, because you've had the Cliftonfills, the Glentorrans, you've had the Larne, you've had the Linfields.
Coleraines.
Trying to think with Ballymena in it, probably.
I think Ballymena were in it, but I think they're better than Dungannon Swifts.
They are, because the Dungannon Swifts, semi-professional team. Not that the rest of them are all professional teams and they're all laying the smackdown, but even the name of them, Dungannon Swifts, it sounds like a fucking basketball team or something.
Anyway, St Patrick's Athletic 1, Noem Kalu 0, so St Pat's are through, and Shamrock Rovers 4, St Joseph's 0, so... Well, I say St Pat's are through, I mean, they're not guess 1-0, but Shamrock Rovers are definitely through, so looking pretty good for the Irish sides. Yeah, we know Shelbourne's going to get eliminated, but they will stay in Europe. They'll just drop into the Europa League qualifiers, and then you've got Shamrock, who are guaranteed to be through now after a 4-0 win against Gibraltar's side St Joseph, and St Patrick's, who, have got 1 foot in the next round. So, pretty good from an Irish perspective. They've yet to lose a team apart from obviously the team that was disqualified from playing in this competition due to the co-ownership, which is, disappointing, but is what it is. And in terms of the Conference League, I think that is kind of where we will end at.
Tell you what, Ives for Finland defeating Ice said that's a bit of an upset.
Definitely.
Holy fuck, Prague beat.
Pakistan. Aktobe.
And Aris for Greece got beat by that Derry team. A lot of upsets.
Torpedo versus Israel.
That's a belter.
It's ironic, isn't it?
That's a Indidio.
What?
You said it's ironic.
Aye, well, it is.
That's a belter for you catching on to it.
Now, let's just move on.
Let's torpedo the coefficient up.
What am I dealing with here?
Let's torpedo the coefficient up the order here. But the kings of the coefficients, alright? Rangers on top where they belong, albeit they're level with Dundee United.
Aye, they are, yeah, so they're not quite on top in first place. Well, they're sharing it.
Well, there was this discussion last year. Oh, technically Celtic are on top of the league and Aberdeen are second, so I'll hold on to this.
Actually, that's very true,
exactly.
So.
And you said Rangers might have a wee green ring around them soon. I don't think they will.
No, it does not look like it, but yeah, all 5 teams still in Europe, and here's hoping that will be the case come next week. Well, there's only one team that cannot be in it next week, which is Dundee United, but I'd like to hope that they will continue their path. I think they will.
Would you not be interested to see Aberdeen get into the Europa League and not the Conference League? I know they stand less of a chance, right, but it would be good to see a team in Scotland that's not on the level of Rangers and Celtic in a higher competition.
I agree, but I just don't think it would go too well for them.
So, would you rather them in the Conference League?
I just want them to pick up points. I just want them to get wins.
And that's the coefficient for you then. That's what they need. But here, I can't complain here, man. Honestly, 2 wins and a draw. What will it be next week?
Hopefully similar.
Well, I think it's going to naturally just be worse because your 2 teams that were favourites at the home games this week are now going away, and then Hibs are taking on the harder team at home. So I think next week we could. I think there's a situation you could be looking at like 3 draws next week. Let's hope there's no else to be talking about though.
I would take 3 draws if Hibs go through on the penalties, but I'm hoping that Dundee United can pick up another win because I think they should be beating that side. So, yeah, hopefully Dundee United win next week. But so far, so good. 2 wins and a draw. I'll take that. And we've got, 2.5 points on the board so far, and which is a massive season for us in Scottish football for the coefficient, because if we do not have a great year, then we are going to drop down massively, and then you say goodbye. We could potentially lose one of our places in Europe, so we could drop from 5 teams down to 4. Celtic, when they win the Champions League, if they win the league, if they retain their title, they're going to have to go through 3 Champions League qualifying rounds. And then we're also looking at the possibility where not only will second in Scotland not get into the Champions League qualifiers, we're looking at the possibility of the second team place in Scotland going straight into the Europa Conference League, just due to us falling down so far. So massive here. We need to start clawing these coefficient points back. Right, Ireland got all 3 teams still in it. 3 wins out of 3 for St Pat's. They're doing a pretty good job. Shelbourne have got 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat, and unfortunately I expect them to add to that defeat next week. And then you've got Shamrock Rovers with a win as well. So at the moment, they've got 5.5 points and on average 1.833. So they're doing okay. And I expect to be a couple more wins at least minimum for the Irish teams before it's all said and done.
Totally agree. Shamrock Rovers, I think they're taking advantage of that European experience that they gained last year, and they've just put that Gibraltar team right to the sword straight away. I feel like in previous years that might have been a tough game, but they've pumped them 4-0, now it's dreamland for them.
Dreamland, right. Northern Ireland, we've got 3 teams remaining out of the 4. Larne, Linfield and Dungannon Swifts all in the Europa Conference League.
Larne love a draw.
What's really disappointing is only 1 win. Only 1 win in all these games played so far. 9 games played so far and only 1 win. That's really poor. Now here, you can spin it and say they played 9 games and only lost twice, which is good.
Yes.
I mean, that is really good.
Well, if it was 6 wins, a draw and 2 defeats, that'd be great. It's not that though.
Yeah, and the draws unfortunately just don't pick us up as much coefficient points as the wins do. But I tell you what, if you work out on average, they're doing better than Scotland. Yeah, albeit Scotland having to share their coefficient points among 5 teams.
Come back in May, mate.
And 2 of them haven't even entered yet. So
come back in May.
And then in Wales, they've got no wins on the board so far. So yeah, just very disappointing.
2 wins, 2 draws, and 5 defeats.
0.333. You can see why Wales is fucked as a nation, isn't it?
As sad, because they've got teams in the English leagues that would help their league so much, but it just goes to show you. But see the New Saints. I think they did the right thing for me. They actually split their money between the league, like a decent portion of it.
What, they did it, or the Welsh FA made them do it? Come on.
You're saying that, but either way, I think there has to be some form of agreement for the New Saints to do that.
I'm not convinced. That's the governing. Come on, the governing body will make that decision. I highly doubt the TNS have picked up.
Well, why doesn't the SFA then say, here, Celtic, why don't you split all your Champions League money with the Scottish Premiership?
Well, they should.
No, they shouldn't. Because our league's not in dire need, is it, as much as the Welsh League is?
I'm pretty sure it is split, and they do actually. I'm pretty sure they actually do make up payments to try and help teams that aren't in Europe. But
I think that once you do that, that just tells you how much of a diddy league you truly are. I think it should be used as a platform, right? But could you imagine after all these years, Celtic dominating, getting Champions League football year in, year out, and then the 1 year Rangers get it and Celtic don't? Here, you need to split all your money to other. No, imagine how that would go down. It shouldn't go down that way.
Sharing is caring, as they say.
No, but the deals up here are shite, because what you've got is teams in League One and the Championship get less money from their TV games than the teams in the Premiership who don't even get the TV deal. Work out it.
And on that note, guys, that's where we're going to end it. Caring is not sharing. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and peace.